Hello, I'm your host and love coach, Nikki Lee, and welcome to Ready for Love Radio. On this show, we're going to take the hour to get closer to nature, and we're going to learn about spirit animals. We're going to learn more about ourselves, and we're going to dig a little deeper. We're going to find out how nature and animals can relate to us, and we can relate to them. Won't you join me? Hello, and welcome to Ready for Love Radio. This is your host and love coach, Nikki Lee. First of all, let me just say I am thrilled to be back. I was in the hospital for a while and recuperating, and I'm going to be recuperating for quite a while, but it's awesome to have my voice back to normal, and, well, pretty much, and to be feeling good enough to actually do a live show again. And I played the introduction to spirit animals last week to kind of as a refresher and reminder. And I'm going to do the first one of the spirit animal series this week. And I want you to bear with me. This is for entertainment purposes. And as far as what I'm learning so far, I'm going to share what I've learned so far, and I highly, highly encourage each of you, if you found this even slightly as fascinating as I do, to look into this, to look into it and dig into it, and research this stuff on your own, because I find this just fascinating. I really do. And I'm going to share 2 books on the show page, and a couple of links that I was looking at when I was doing research, and there's videos all over YouTube, and I just, like I said, I find this fascinating. I really do. And I'll have I'm going to try to have the download finished in time for the show, and if not, I'll have it soon after, and I'll let you know when it's ready. But I'm going to, and I kept this to myself until I had the show recorded. First week, let's dive in with this, and I say that because I'm going to start with dolphins. I was going to do something different, but the dolphin, they just captured my attention. So let's start with that, and I'm going to give you the info that I'm finding and my understanding so far, and if I give you any wrong information, let me apologize now, because this, like I said, I'm learning, and I'm going to get better. I promise I'm going to get better with time, and I welcome your comments. So if you have a different understanding, and I'm even with the experts that I'm finding on the various sites in the various videos, I'm finding that they have different understandings. So it's very possible, listeners, you're going to have a different understanding than I'm getting from what I'm seeing. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready for people to think different things than what I'm getting. So let's dive in. First of all, spirit animals are representatives of our spiritual guides, and they can come to us in many different ways. You know, it's interesting because when Paul and I were doing the introduction, I was thinking, okay, I live in a small town. I'm like 5 minutes. I can be out in the country and pretty much surrounded by a very diverse group of animals of various kinds. Within about 15 minutes, I can be not far from, a variety of deer, and closer to bear than I'd probably want to be by myself without some kind of protection or weapon. Not saying I'd use it. I just, if needed, I'd like to have something close by. But I'm thinking, people in L.A., New York, this sort of thing, they're not nearly as close to a variety of animals. So I'm thinking, how could they have the same interaction with spirit animals that, people here have. But, okay, so I've resolved that concern. Because I understood that spirit animals actually find us, because they have a message to bring to us that we need to hear. Okay, so I got that. So I'm like, okay, so how could they reach somebody in one of these big cities? Because obviously, if your spirit animal is, say, a giraffe or an elephant or a hippopotamus, they're not going to run into a giraffe in New York City, hopefully. So then I'm studying this, and you don't have to actually run into the actual animal, which this is helpful. You can actually be contacted, shall we say, by your spirit animal, either in person, okay, or in a movie, in a dream. You can come across it in a picture, conversations with friends. It's that it has to keep showing up or keep being somehow it's making a presence. It's having a presence in your life somehow. So I'm like, okay, that makes me feel better, because I was really wondering how this worked, but that helped me very much. Okay, so that, like I said, that resolved that concern for me. Okay, so the spirit animal finds a way to reach out to us, and then we need to be able to understand the signs that they're sending us. All right, so this is interesting. And then we need to, they're showing us their traits, and we pay attention to it, and then we get the messages, and this helps us. And it's interesting, because sometimes if somebody is telling us the message we need to hear, we don't want to hear it. It's like, a lot of times in the show, I'm saying something like, we need to learn to love ourselves. We need to learn to relax. We need to take time to relax. This is a message I tell myself all the time, and I don't listen to that as much as I should. I have recently, because my body hasn't given me a choice. But that's kind of what happens after major surgery. But I know there's other people that don't listen to that any better than I do. But sometimes we don't want to listen to a person tell us, but this is another way for us to get messages, and hopefully to listen and do what's best for us. Now let's start with the dolphin. And we all know that dolphins live in water, and when they're in the wild, they live in the ocean. Okay, so there are many myths that speak to the fact that life begins in the primordial waters of life. So water is a symbol for creation, passion, and sexuality. Now, all those things are the elements of life. Now, the symbol of new dimensions, the forces, and we know that water is necessary for life, and breathing is necessary for life. Now, years and years ago, I learned that there's a variety of techniques for breathing, and we all know that there's the normal breathing that we have to do, that like when you go to the doctor and they say breathe deep, and they want to make sure that our lungs are functioning. And there's also some breathing, and I learned one of these where you can actually breathe so deep that it was wild. I did this one, and you can actually feel like you're falling, or you can do some that put you in various altered states. And some believe it or not, there's some breathing techniques you can learn that actually make us more passionate and sexual. There's some that can heal our body, mind, and spirit. And they're actually very, very interesting. There's actually, I don't know if you still hear, I met him years and years ago at a alternative health fair that actually did group sessions where he taught various forms of breathing. It was interesting. But and there's also breathing techniques that you can learn that relieve tension and stress. And there's also, you can learn the breathing technique that dolphins use, believe it or not, when they are, and I'm sure you've seen you've either seen the dolphin do it in real life, or you've, live, or you've seen a video of a dolphin when they come to the top of the water and they go across the water and they're spouting water and they're breathing and all that. You can actually learn the technique of that type of breathing. So it's very interesting, all those kind of things. And people that have lung and breathing problems could have great benefits if they align themselves with what's called dolphin medicine. So there's a rhythm to the breathing that the dolphins use, and learning that could be helpful. So breath control is a key to the power of the dolphin. So if you do have lung and breathing problems, the dolphin could be one of your totem animals. So now spirit animals, just a reminder, spirit animals are the spirit animal that comes to you and brings you a message. But then we also have totem animals that we can relate to their traits, their characteristics, and that have the various elements that we want to learn more about and incorporate into our lives because they're beneficial for us. So you could have a whole lot of totem animals that you want to learn more about and study. And I'm going to have lots and lots and lots of notes about all my totem animals because there's lots of them. So it's two different things that you're going to utilize two different ways. And like I said, lots and lots and lots of notes. So, and I actually got a really neat spirit animal journal the other day that I want to add some more information to. So I'm going to have that. It's probably going to be several months before I have that completely ready. But I am going to have that available for listeners. And there's a whole page and a half for each animal where you can add your own notes and that kind of stuff. But it's really pretty. It's digital, so you can have it on your cell phone or on a tablet or whatever you want. But I will have that available at some point, but it's not ready just yet. So how do you know if dolphin is your spirit animal? Now, there's several ways you can find out. One is through meditation, but I do know meditation's not for everybody. You'll know by following the signs or in your dreams. So if you start dreaming about dolphins, and it doesn't have to just be a dolphin swimming around. It can be like a dolphin in the dream, just kind of shows up by observing nature. And if you happen to, be at the beach and see dolphins, or be on a boat and see dolphins, if you're currently in a stage in your life where you need to love yourself again, or if you're feeling overwhelmed with emotions and you've just forgotten to relax and to play, because if you watch dolphins, they love to play. They do. So that's a big element of dolphins being your spirit animal, because they teach us how to play and to have fun, and to play and have fun with other people. And they also teach us to maintain our self-esteem, especially in various relationships. Now, that can be our personal relationships, our intimate relationships, our family relationships, work, all of them. So think about some of the traits of the dolphin. You've got curiosity, mindfulness, meditation, and enlightenment. All right? So think about, when they're scooting across the water, they hold themselves upright and they're scooting across the water, which is so cool to see. But they do that, and they're having fun, and they're playing around. But they can also dive deep down into the water. So that can be an example of looking for the deeper meaning in things and looking to be enlightened. So see, we're not just looking at the surface message, pun intended. We're also looking for the deeper meaning in things. So are you seeing why I wanted to use the dolphin for the first one? So we can kind of get an overview of what we're going to be doing with our spirit animal sessions that we're going to do once a month. I'm going to try to make sure we do it once a month. As long as I can stay out of the hospital, I'm going to try to keep us on track. Now, some of the talents of the dolphin, see if any of these resonate with you. The dolphin is compassionate, emphatic, excitable. I think if you've ever seen a video of a dolphin or you've seen them in person, you know they're excitable. They're also graceful. Isn't it graceful how they scoot across the water? They're happy. If you're having fun, you're happy. They're intelligent. Might not have known that, but they are. They're intuitive. They're very intuitive. They're musical. Okay? They're playful. They're social. They're telepathic. They're gullible. So see, we're gonna deal with the good and the bad. So they do have some bad qualities or less positive qualities. How about that? They can be lazy. They're talkative. So, and if you've been around them in person, you've heard that. I remember being at SeaWorld when I was a kid down by Disney World, and they are very talkative, especially when they're hungry. They tend to never take things seriously. There's that fun and playful and all that. And they're excellent communicators. It kind of goes with being talkative, doesn't it? All right, so what does the dolphin represent as a spirit animal? Well, in different cultures, they symbolize different things. And one of the links I'm going to give you actually tells you what they symbolize in Native American, Celtic, Far East, and several other cultures. So it really digs into all kinds of neat things. But we're not going to have time to cover all that, I don't think, today. So that's why I'm including the link for you. But throughout history, the dolphins have been considered very intelligent, playful, and well-meaning. And actually, spirit animals also represent harmony and peace. They represent joy, playfulness, strength of will, inner strength, protection, mental acuity, and politeness. I bet. Had you ever thought about that when you looked at a dolphin? I know a lot of times we just kind of especially like a SeaWorld, you just kind of see them being playful and performing and that kind of thing. But I love this. This is one of the things I love about the spirit animal topic is how it digs into animals on so much of a deeper level. I really hope y'all enjoy this series as much as I'm enjoying digging into it and researching it. So most of the time when you see dolphins, you see them in a group. That's one of the reasons why they're so social and that kind of thing. They symbolize teamwork, okay, cooperation, and courtesy. You see them in a team and in a group, but you don't see them fighting. Okay, you don't see them like snapping at each other. You see them working together as a team. and balance. As far as the rearing up on its fins and the dancing across the top of the water, that's the balance, and musical and all that. So you've got the balance between the intelligence and the fun and the teacher, and they're calm. They're not being rash. They're not, getting all overly excited. They're calm when they're doing it. They're not. There's not a big conflict and there's not a problem, and that's why they also can be a symbol of diplomacy. Because, like I said, they're working together. Let me see. We hear that they've saved somebody from an animal attack. There'll be a person out and say, like a shark will come at them, and a dolphin. There's been all kinds of stories where a shark will come at a person, and a dolphin will take them on, the shark that is, and end up saving the person. There's also, in Greek mythology, there are stories of dolphins taking the spirit of a dead person to the next reality, the next life. So it is a symbol of resurrection, which we'll cover that here in a second in the what dolphins been a symbol of. So a symbol of rebirth, and also that and I think, if I remember right, Paul and I covered this in the introduction, being that some of the animals, and I know he mentioned this with turtles, some of the spirit animals have a connection to two elements, being the water and the air. Okay, so dolphins do represent and symbolize certain things. Sailors have felt the dolphins are a good omen, and that they do help people who are drowning or, like I said, on the verge of being attacked by somebody, whether a shark or a whale. If people are fighting to stay alive or this kind of thing, they can either help them if they're disoriented or help them if they're being attacked. Sometimes they could help the sailors. There's the playful spin on the dolphins, which, like I said, there's if you ever see, like I said, when the dolphins are performing, or even if they're just playing and interacting with other dolphins in a tank. I mean, I've seen them, and they love to play. They just really do, and they're often talking or whatever. I don't remember what you call it when dolphins are making the sounds they do, but they do enjoy talking. Let me see. And dolphins, like I said, have been linked to resurrection in Greek mythology, and often too, I didn't know this, but I'm sure it could be Googled, that in Christian artwork, dolphins have been portrayed as carrying human souls, or I'm guessing human souls, but could also be animal souls to Christ to be resurrected. So if a person, it says that people who are attracted to the dolphin spirit animal could be finding themselves on the edge of a spiritual or a personal rebirth of some kind, or they might have gone through one recently, and that could mean all kinds of things. So it could be, could be something in a spiritual way, a personal way, a business way, a relationship way. Could be any kind of a rebirth. Because that could be that. Yeah, that means all kinds of different things, depending on the person. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay. Can also mean a symbol of inner strength, because dolphins are when they're in the wild, they're strong and they're fearless. So if you've got a shark or any other kind of animal coming at the dolphin, they don't hesitate to take them on and to fight them instead of just taking off and fleeing. That's interesting, because when you look at a dolphin as compared to, especially like a shark just looks so much meaner and tougher, and you don't really think about the dolphin as a fighter, but it's got that inner strength, and that's interesting. So they represent that strong moral conviction, the self-confidence, and the self-esteem, and it takes them on anyway. That's interesting. So if the dolphin was our spirit animal, do we stand up for ourselves and maintain our self-esteem, speak our mind, stand our ground, or do we hide our true selves, let people walk all over us? That could be the story. That could be, if we're seeing dolphins or dreaming about dolphins, that could be the story or the message. To even, like, if we're in a situation in our job or in our relationship, say we're in a relationship and we're not being treated right by our significant other, and we start dreaming about dolphins, it could be simply that we need to stand up for ourselves and say, I'm not going to be treated that way anymore. Interesting. All right. And as a symbol of cooperation, in a social group, healthy adults work to protect and feed injured people and to bring people together and to protect them against outsiders and predators and people that want to hurt them. And dolphins do that very much in situations. If there's somebody trying to get into the group to hurt them, the dolphin's going to go after them. And this is a dolphin totem, which I think a lot of people probably have a dolphin as a totem. Show them that the place is a place of love, and makes it easy to work with others without sacrificing their own needs. How often do you get into a situation where you're in a group and you end up doing so much to help the others and put so much time into it that you find out that you don't have enough time left to take care of the things that you need to do for yourself? That can be a real problem. And we need to make sure that is not what we let happen. That actually happens far more than we realize. But we need to make sure that we don't do that. Well, and especially in relationships, are we so busy looking out for the other person and looking out for what they need that we aren't looking out for our needs? I know that's something that women have done for eons, and not looking out for the things that they need. And that's That doesn't work. That does not work at all. Now, what is the dolphin trying to tell you? Okay. If the dolphin is your spirit guide, it's trying to encourage you to love yourself and to teach you to swim in a sea of different emotions and pressures. That's interesting. To take a break from your responsibilities and to enjoy time with your family and friends. Now, you likely can't totally take a break from your responsibilities, but maybe don't put in all that overtime, or maybe just make sure that part of your weekend you don't do all the extra stuff for work. You know, give yourself a Saturday with your family and friends. And maybe just, you know, you need you time. You need time for you. I know that when I had a job at a local doctor's office, and I ran the office, and I did all of our insurance filing, and I took all of our laundry home to do, and every Friday when I left, I grabbed up all the laundry, and I took all of the insurance stuff home with me. I just put all that in the laundry basket, and I just took that home with me every weekend, and I spent the majority of my weekend doing insurance every single weekend. That is not a cool way to spend your weekend. I can tell you that now. You know, there are much more fun things to do with your weekend. And we actually finally got a company to do that for us. That was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But it's it's amazing the things you get roped into sometimes. And the really cool thing was my pay didn't go down once we got a company to do all that for us, and I got my weekends back. So that was very cool. I like that. But we also need to learn, once you're, you know, doing this and taking time for yourself and all that, that we need compassion for people, okay? And you need to create a deeper connection with people. And the dolphin spirit animal is going to try to teach you how to do that. Now, you don't need a deeper connection with everybody, but it's good to have that deeper connection with some people, okay? And you also need, and I'm just thinking, this spiritual cooperation. Maybe we should just dump a whole bunch of dolphins on the Capitol building. What do you think? Maybe, you know what? Let's take down the fence at the Capitol building and put up a big tank and put dolphins at the Capitol building, because they need to learn a whole lot about cooperation. I don't think Pelosi would like it, but it could be really helpful, because they really need to learn about cooperation there. Okay, all right, no more politics. But they should cooperate and compromise with people, and instead of being stubborn. Oh, I love that idea. Okay. Oh, that's so funny. All right. So dolphins are fearless animals. They teach us the importance of self-confidence, and overcoming fears. And it's important to believe, this is critical, folks, it's important to believe in our instincts and our intuition. Now, a lot of times we have instincts and intuition that are very good, but for various reasons, sometimes people discouraging us or kind of poo-pooing it if we say something that's an instinct or an intuition, we don't listen to our intuition, or our intuition is telling us something that we don't like. Like say maybe we have a crush on somebody, and our intuition is saying no. This is not a good choice, but we really want it to be a good choice, so we don't listen to our intuition, but we should. So I've actually got a couple of really good. I got a really good show with Anna about intuition. I tell you what, I will link on today's show page. I will put a link to that, because that's one of my favorite shows I've done. I will link to that show on the show page. If you're not sure about intuition, do yourself a favor and listen to that, because that was an awesome show. And I've learned over the years not to ignore my intuition. If my intuition is telling me yes or no about something, I have learned not to ignore it, because I regret it every time. Okay, so what does it mean when dolphins appear? And I don't mean like hallucinating in front of your eyes. I mean like the way we talked about at the beginning of the show. So it means that you need to improve the balance and harmony in your life. It reminds you that you need to trust your intuition and your instincts, and not to forget to have fun and to relax. And, too, that fun and relaxation, and part of that is that it's important for your mental health. And I'm not saying that in a mean way, but to keep our mental stability and our mental health, we've got to have some relaxation. Even if it's just to release the stress in our everyday lives, we need to have some relaxation and some fun. I mean, have you been around people that never, ever, ever just laugh or joke or have fun or whatever? You've just got to be able to have that. It's almost like a pressure valve. Okay? Have you ever been around somebody that's using a pressure canner? Okay? And you may not have, but there's pressure valves on all kinds of mechanical things. I remember when I was a kid and my mom used to be doing canning. Oh, always green beans for some reason. Ugh. But anyway, and she'd have those in there, and it would get to a certain point, and there was just so much pressure in there, and you had to relieve the pressure. And I'd be like, I've got the front door. I'm going to run if you don't do it, because you knew that you had to relieve the pressure in these things, I have to do the same thing on my hot water heater. I know that if the little pressure relief thing goes bad, it's a big problem. It's the same thing with us. We have to relieve the pressure and the stress that builds up. It's just like, humor and jokes are essential in our daily lives. And one of my cousins, his wife is always joking around and this kind of thing. And I mean, she's always joking about something, which is good. She always makes us laugh. So we need to have that balance and and have that kind of thing. We need that in our lives. Now, I'm not saying joke all the time. That you got to be serious too, but you've got to have that sometimes. Okay, now when is a dolphin likely to appear? Here's some potential scenarios. When you need to lighten up and find the fun in your life. Another time is when you need to begin a quest and understand your spiritual being and find enlightenment in your life. When your life is on a path, you need to take the time and look at every little thing along that path in more detail. Don't leave any stone unturned. That's the thing. Evidently the dolphin has shown up because you're either on the wrong path, some part of the path is wrong, or there's some problem somewhere with what you're doing. So the dolphin is showing up to say, you need to take another look. There's a problem here somewhere. You need to take a new look at your plan. There's something here that isn't working. So you need to figure out where it's at. Okay. And then other times, the dolphin signals to you to pay special attention to your intuition. Sometimes we get the impression that something we may not, sometimes we shouldn't give it attention, and we should. Your intuition's giving you a message for a reason. Don't ignore it. The dolphin warns you to be careful about the people around you. Are they good people? Are they people that are encouraging you to get into trouble? Could be a signal that it's time for you to make a change of some kind. Okay. Dolphins can also indicate that it's time to get creative. It's time to start a project. Maybe it's time to restart an old project that you put on a back burner or put up on a shelf. You want to fill the project with feelings and emotions. Don't hold back. Unleash your creativity. Put it on display. Let everybody see it. Creativity needs to be shared, and it's a great way to get feedback from other people. You could also, your creativity and sharing it could inspire somebody else to get creative on their own too. And dolphins can also help us when we're healing from emotional wounds. You can tap into our own healing abilities, and it'll help us to connect to our joy, and then that'll also help us to tap into our inner truth, and it can empower us, and we can empower other people. Now, what about dreams about dolphins? Now, dreams about dolphins are considered to be dreams of the spiritual nature. They can encourage us to seek spiritual guidance. They can be intense and precise, and they can fill us with energy. Now, we might see the dolphins in connection to different types of happiness, and it could mean that we have a good relationship with people, and that we're happy because of that. Could also mean that we need to reconnect with people, and that can be people in our private life or in our work life. So don't eliminate either one of those if you're trying to figure it out. Can also mean that we're improving or strengthening our current relationships. Could be, our partner. It could be a family member. It could be a close friend. like I said, could be a coworker, and could be some kind of unpleasant part of our life. So it could mean with it we need to change direction, need to change the situation. Don't lock yourself into one little possibility. And remember that dolphins are extremely intelligent. They're multidimensional, and they're playful. So there's lots of, like I said, there's lots of possibilities. They're also social. They're symbols of connection. So it's probably going to include somebody else or a connection in some ways. Not definitely, but probably. Could also, and remember this, the diving deeper, so it's probably going to symbolize deepening a connection, okay? That, like I said, it's interesting how you've got the dolphin in the water, and so many things are being deepened or going deeper. I think that's fascinating. And don't focus just on the dolphin, okay? Focus on the fact, too, that the dolphin is in water, okay? And I like so often to tell people to be aware of their surroundings, because it makes the surroundings are part of whatever we're doing, okay, and can make a difference in whatever we're doing. And that is very, very true with the dolphin, okay? And I have a feeling, I don't know yet, but I have a feeling that's going to be an element of the other animals also. But again, this is one of the reasons I picked the dolphin to start with. So we could start off with this being an element of what we're talking about. So when you're talking about the dolphin, you also have to, especially in the dream, focus on the dolphin and what the dolphin is in, which is the water. So when you're thinking about the dream, is the water clear and clean, or is it dark and murky? That makes a difference. So if the water is clean and clear, then that means, or can indicate, that the relationship is great. Okay? So clear water, good relationship, because you can see things clearly. Okay? But if the water is dark and murky, then that's a sign that there's problems or difficulty, because you can't really see things clearly, and you need to, pun intended here again, clean things up. Okay? And that relationship can be with friends, can be with family, can be with your partner, can be with coworkers, can be with anybody. So consider where the dolphin is, consider the dolphin, the water, and where they are. And it could even be, where is the water? Okay, so is it in a tank? Is it in the ocean? Look at everything. Look at all the details of where the dream is taking place. So I'm just saying, consider the surroundings. So when would you reach out to the dolphin? Okay, a couple of those things would be when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel that you're not living up to your potential, and especially if it's a self-esteem issue. When do you feel you're not living up to your potential and you reach out for the dolphin to help you? When you feel you've neglected yourself and you're cultivating and you're working on cultivating this love for yourself. When you don't feel a deep connection with the people that you love. When you need peace and harmony. When you need a guide that will teach you how to be a team player and compromise with the people around you. When you're stuck in the past and worried about the future. When you've forgotten how to relax and enjoy life. And that may sound funny to some people, but that can happen. You can get so bogged down with just everyday life and the issues and the problems and everything going on that it can be hard to just put things aside and just take a break. I've been there. I've been there. And you just need help to relax. And sometimes you want to change unproductive habits. You're like, how do I get myself back on track? And it can seem like getting yourself from where you are back over to productive and good habits, it can seem like there is a 50-foot moat between where you are and where you want to be. So basically, just when you want to change, when you want to get from point A to point B, and you feel like you need binoculars to see where you are and where you want to be. So it's, I like I said, been there. So dolphins encourage meditation, quiet time to think, and to find that harmony, that balance, and finding your inner wisdom. You know, making you stop being stuck in the past, bringing you to the present, and helping you to find that meaning. It's in there, but you need to find it. Helping you to see all perspectives and all sides of a situation. You know, there's a whole lot of it. It may seem like there's only one side, but there's a whole lot of different options and possibilities. You know, encourage you to think, feel, and be smart when you make your choices, and that lets you and helps you to live in harmony and balance. And having the dolphins around will help to boost your intelligence and help you to do better in school and other situations and help you to make smart decisions. So I'm hoping, I know this was a whole lot of information, so I will have a download of this. I'm hoping to have it ready after the show. I'm not positive, but if not, I will try to have it by Monday. And it is going to be downloadable at www.lovecoachjourney.com/dolphins with an S on the end. So I hope that you enjoyed our excursion into the water with the dolphins. And I don't know which animal I'm going to do in June, but I've got one of about 10 in mind. So we will see. And feel free on either that post or readyforloveradio.com/dolphins to give me some thoughts. Let me know what you think about the spirit animals. And like I said, I'd love to hear what you think. Like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying learning about animals. I knew some of these things about dolphins, but nowhere near all this. And I think it's fascinating. Like I said, I'm fascinated with nature and animals, period, and learning on this level is just very, very fun. So, and I will include a couple of the links that I've found in my research that has some really cool information about spirit animals and learning about the different ones. The two books that I found, the one with Ted Andrews, is supposed to be the best, and I found one that I'm really enjoying by a friend of mine, Melissa Alvarez, that she wrote about animal energy. That's very cool. And like I said, I think you'll enjoy both of them. They come at it from two different perspectives, but have lots of neat information. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And like I said, I'd love to hear from you and hear what you have to say. And I will be with you next time on Ready for Love Radio.
I almost cried when you said I'll never leave you. Girl, I really need you here. And all the lies you told me seemed to drivel the morning breeze. Suddenly I felt so at ease, but I can't understand how you got me in this jam. Play the game, such a shame. Now I'm filled with all this pain. But I'll never play the fool again. I won't play the fool. I won't play the fool again. No, no. I won't play the fool. I ain't ever gonna play the fool. I can't play the fool again. You took my hand, you told me, you said, girl, you're my sunrise. I see sunlight in your eyes. Can you ever forgive me? Oh, baby girl, I was silly. Girl, I really need you here, but I can't understand how you knew just what to say. I knew I should let you go, but was filled with all this hope. But I never play the fool again. I won't play the fool. I won't play the fool again. No, no. I won't play the fool. I ain't ever gonna play the fool. I can't play the fool again. 'Cause I never said it was easy. All you did was lie and deceive me. I'll never play the fool again. I never said it was easy. All you did was lie and deceive me. I'll never play the fool again. And as I turned to walk away, I knew I had to leave you. I'll get by without you here. You stole my heart and ran away. I thought you were my sunrise, but now I see your lies. 'Cause I can't understand that I don't need you as my man. It was time for you to go. Now I know I can't let go. But I'll never play the fool again. I won't play the fool. I won't play the fool again. No, no. I won't play the fool. I ain't ever gonna play the fool. I can't play the fool again. Ain't ever gonna play the fool. I ain't ever gonna play the fool. I can't play the fool again. No, no, no. Ain't ever gonna play the fool. I ain't ever gonna play the fool. I can't play the fool again.